Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 36 of Radio Free Filler. Thank you. For this show, we're going to start with a little bit of history, but then we're going to compare it with our current situation during the COVID war. You know, there are some folks who still say that there's nothing new under the sun, and everything old is new again, and what goes around comes around, things like that. I kind of wish they'd shut up and let me get on with this show. Anyway, I can't help noticing that there is a kind of cycle to some things, and that comedy is one of them. Take it away, Buster.
That's the reason that some jokes your grandfather used to tell just might get recirculated by your children. After all, there are some situations in life that keep right on happening in one way or another over many years. There are also certain types of humor that might enjoy a spell of popularity, then fall out of favor, only to return again in a new situation. One example is the misinterpretation routine.
Yes, I remember one of my writers being very proud of having invented the following bit. The enticing mademoiselle moved closer to me and murmured, "Je t'adore." So I got up and shut the door.
Now, the writer's satisfaction in coming up with a kind of bilingual pun in which the French expression for "I adore you" sounds a little like the American "shut the door" disappeared some time later when he found the same joke printed in a college humor magazine from the 1920s. After all, there's nothing wrong with discovering America, but when you find out that you're the 500th person to do it, the thrill is, well, greatly diminished. In the early days of vaudeville, when people were immigrating from many different countries, the misinterpretation form was common, because many new arrivals were struggling to assimilate not only a new language, but also certain new idioms. This comic approach worked especially well when the routine was balanced so that both the new arrival and the settled citizen could find something to laugh at. One example might be the new arrival hearing the phrase, "the cat's pajamas," for the first time. The settled citizen, who was familiar with the expression, might be amused by the struggle of the new arrival to comprehend it, but the new arrival could also be amused by the patent absurdity of the expression itself. The comedy of idiom can also be used along generational lines as a popular catchphrase or other reference used by teenagers might be incomprehensible to their grandparents, and vice versa. Another form of misinterpretation is the hard of hearing routine. This was repopularized by Gilda Radner in the 1970s when she played the role of Emily Latella, a woman of advanced years who would begin with a display of outrage over some situation she had misunderstood. Once the correct interpretation was explained to her, she would acquiesce with the catchphrase,
"Never mind."
However, the hard of hearing routine is just one form of humor based on disability. The cartoon character Mr. Magoo was based on a condition of extreme nearsightedness. The humor was created by Magoo's stubborn insistence that his flawed perceptions were correct, and usually he was able to make his way successfully, although those around him sometimes suffered. Unlike Emily Latella, Magoo never recanted. His catchphrase was the self-congratulatory,
"Oh, Magoo, you've done it again."
In recent years, an increasing sense of empathy for handicapped people began to make some of these routines seem less amusing. The idea was that it wasn't nice to make fun of those who had disabilities. In fact, even the words handicapped and disability came under scrutiny, sometimes replaced with the euphemistic expression differently abled. Theoretically, the term differently abled could be applied to a person with a physical advantage. Here's an old high school joke that evokes that idea. Say, kid, I want you to join my basketball team.
But I'm a chess player. I don't know anything about basketball.
Never mind, I still think you should join my team.
But I'm no good at bouncing a ball.
You mean dribbling. Never mind about that.
Well, I'm no good at throwing a ball through a hoop.
You mean shooting. Never mind about that either, kid.
But why would you want me to play on your basketball team when I don't have the knowledge or the skills?
Let me put it to you this way. I can teach you the rules of the game. I can teach you how to dribble. I can teach you how to shoot. The only thing I can't teach you is how to be 7 feet tall. In this joke, the student's height advantage would certainly constitute a difference in ability, but he is not likely to be described as differently abled. Yes, jokes that involve things like hearing problems had become increasingly unfunny until the COVID-19 pandemic came along. However, the handicap is no longer an inborn limitation. It is a problem created by the difficulty of making yourself understood while talking through a mask. As a result, the misunderstandings could happen to anyone because, in these cases, the problem was with the speech itself, not the person hearing it. Here's an example of a new COVID-age joke. Is this the right place to get vaccine?
Yep, this is the place. Come on in.
I'm surprised. There's no one else here.
Well, a lot of folks think it's not necessary.
That's hard to believe.
Well, it takes all kinds to make a world.
At least I won't have to wait very long.
That's right. In fact, you can go in right now.
Hello, doctor.
Howdy. Where do you want to get sprayed?
Sprayed? I don't understand. I thought I'd be getting an injection.
An injection? I've never heard of such a thing. This stuff is strictly for external application.
What's in that bottle you're holding?
Why, it's what you came for. Bactine first aid spray.
But I came to get vaccine. You know, for COVID.
Oh, we don't do that here.
But why would your receptionist send me in?
She probably didn't understand you through that mask. Tell you what, let me give you just a little squirt just to be on the safe side.
Well, all right. It's better than wasting this whole trip.
All righty. You can pay the receptionist on your way out.
What?
Well, you did take up some of my time, and you did receive some medication.
Oh, I guess you're right.
That'll be $10, please.
10? Oh, all right. I guess that's not that much these days.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Is he gone?
Yes.
Did he pay?
Yes.
Oh boy, we got another one.
There's another form of humor that's coming back these days. The novelty song. Novelty songs often take an old saying or familiar philosophy and somehow turn it around. Here's an example about whistling a happy tune while wearing a mask.
Sometimes when you're walking and it's rather late at night, you might start feeling nervous, a certain sense of fright. But don't let it concern you and don't give in to fear, for there's an easy thing to do to bring yourself some cheer. Just whistle a happy tune. It's such a simple task. A happy little melody to blow right through your mask. The sound will make the dark seem bright and turn your fear to bliss. It's fun to whistle a happy tune just like this. There seems to be a problem here, but soon I'll put it right. I'll whistle my little melody to chase away the night. My mask just makes it tricky, as it would to blow a kiss. But I'll still whistle my happy tune, just like this. A walk can be quite pleasant in the middle of the day, and you won't need a happy tune to chase your fears away. But if the dark alarms you and you're hesitant to roam, it might work out much better if you simply stay at home.
There are other old jokes that can be refurbished, and in some cases, even improved. Here's an old one from the 1960s.
Have you read The Thesaurus?
No, I'm gonna wait until they make a movie out of it.
This joke was never particularly strong, since people don't usually read the Thesaurus, but it can be updated this way.
Are you familiar with the novel coronavirus?
No, but I hear that AMC bought the rights and they're gonna do a miniseries.
And in time, that just might actually happen. Meanwhile, in the world of popular music, some existing hit songs are ripe for re-examination. For example, there's a song by the band known as The Police that could be reimagined as being sung by a hospital attendant to a COVID patient. It includes the following lyrics. Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Not really amusing, but Americans often have a dark sense of humor, and all that's needed is a different video. Then there are new variations on old nursery rhymes. As I was shopping in St. Ives, I met a man who endangered lives. He passed me with an unmasked smile while going the wrong way down the aisle. Or, Mary never wore a mask. She didn't think it mattered. And every time that Mary sneezed, contagious germs got splattered. Of course, some nursery rhymes actually have their roots in ancient disasters and plagues. Maybe something new could be invented. When I was a youth of 23, my doctor phoned and said to me, the choice is simple, you need not wonder, 6 feet apart or 6 feet under. That one seems to be a little strange, but a lot of today's ad campaigns do seem to be treating adults like they were little kids. Speaking of ads, the old mouthwash commercials seem to be shifting toward a new angle. Now, when they talk about bad breath, they mean really bad breath. Sometimes the meaning of a song changes even with its original lyrics intact. The question posed by the Lonnie Donegan song, "Does your chewing gum lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight?" now has a potentially ominous interpretation. Maybe it's not the chewing gum that's the problem. Speaking of interpretations, maybe everything is kind of dissolving these days. Here's a song called Scattershot that seems to illustrate that phenomenon.
I have a mouse, and I gave her some cereal to keep the poor creature from becoming too ethereal. Cereal, ethereal, ethereal, cereal. That's been done before, that rhyme, that's been done before. I can't use it anymore, it's all used up. If I write a song about some chickens, you might declare that's poetry. And I would shoot you a withering glance instead of buckshot in the seat of the pants. And we both might do the fax machine dance to make the paper go through without jamming. Office supplies are not supposed to improvise. If I were to tell you of a Flemish painter who did all his greatest paintings in phlegm, that gag might not have been used by any other guy. And you could declare that there's a very good reason why. Or that Ogden Nash would have done it better, for he could make water seem even wetter, while I could only artlessly throw in a word like sweater. To return to the mouse, I called her poor. She lives in a cage and can't open the door. Don't imagine she hasn't tried before. She got out once, she got out twice. That's the thing about wild mice. But the lure of peanut butter was too strong, and she didn't remain at liberty for long. So the poor little mouse still lives in the cage. She doesn't get to drive to the office. She sleeps when she wants to and doesn't enjoy the benefits of a mandatory schedule. She runs on a wheel and she's faster than me. She can do it at night when I can't see. Actually, she lives in a betting-lined aquarium, which contains no dirt, so I don't think I can call it a terrarium. But I think it better than an enema of barium. It's a good thing that I don't own a giraffe, though the verse would make you more likely to laugh. And it wouldn't be long, no more than a minute and a half. It occurred to me that the man we refer to as eloquent has merely told us a thing we already believe. And maybe he said it more simply or clearly or gracefully, with a dictionary or thesaurus up his sleeve. I'm pretty sure they bite though. But that's been done before, that gag, that's been done before. So I can't use it anymore, it's all used up.
And there's that thesaurus again. Come to think of it, what with the curfew and all, There are some songs that most people can't even sing at all, like this one.
I'm driving down the road in the middle of the night. It's getting pretty late, but I feel alright. Would she stay or would she go? I just can't think about it, 'cause all I know is I'm driving down the road in the middle of the night. I'm driving down the road in the middle of the night. My eyes are red, but the lines are white. There's something sad, but something fine. Oh, the grapevine days that could be mine. But I'm driving down the road in the middle of the night. I'm driving down the road in the middle of the night. It's getting pretty late, but I feel alright. The tunnel lights are pretty weird. The bridge is high, but I'm not scared. I'm driving down the road in the middle of the night. I'm driving down the road in the middle of the night. I'm driving down the road in the middle of the night.
Oh well, I think that's about enough for this week. Be sure to tune in again next time for another installment of Radio Free Filler.